Oh, God.
Oh my. So then we moved to Clarabelle's house,
Yeah.
right?
Then there was a time up there when Brian, you remember that little room back there where you had a little bed? You had a little bed and Brian had the crib?
That was in Clarabelle's house?
Remember that to the south or off our bedroom?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then one night, and Brian was always chewing gum, you know, and one night Brian couldn't hear very good, and so I got to look in his ears, and he stuck his bubble gum up in his ear.
Oh, I thought it was his nose.
No, that's right. It's in his nose. He couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't breathe. That's what it was. He was going like that all the time. I got to look in his nostril, and there's such a big. Oh.
Oh my. Memories, huh?
Memories. Oh my. And you know how many times when I go in there, I don't go in that bedroom very often. I got that picture of you and Brian sitting there, you know. And he was just. I don't know. I suppose he was probably about 6 months old. Well, it was after the flood because Rhonda found the picture. I'm glad she found it. She stepped on it. She was probably 7 months old. I don't know. But anyway, then that picture of you, that was the day we always went to Atlantic on Saturday, Grandma and I did. And of course they had this Johnson's photography down. They had advertising paper so many of the Christmas time. It was so cold that day. And they had advertisement for, I don't know, so many pictures, you know, for Christmas and put on Christmas cards and all this and that. Anyway, so Mom said, well, let's go down and have a Cherie's picture taken. Brian wasn't here yet. So we went down there and Johnson's photography was right around the corner there by, where the fish store is, right across from the fish store.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so it was a Saturday, we couldn't find a place to park, so we parked over around the corner there. And so then, and you had a snowsuit on. You were so fat, and I was so skinny all the time. And anyway, we were walking along there, and it was kind of icy. And Mom said, "Let me carry her, little Cherie Ann. You can't carry you. When you're so heavy, because you were so fat, and you had that big winter coat on, and snow pants, and a hood bonnet on, you know." And I said, "No, I'll carry her. You might fall with her." And she said, "No," she said, "I'll carry her a little ways, and you carry her." She said, "Because she's too heavy for you to carry. We got a long ways to go." So she carried you a little ways, and I carried you, and we finally got the photographers there. And of course, then we had to take all your snow pants and all that. So that's that picture that's in there. You had this little dress. You know,
Was I holding that ball?
Yeah, that's the picture that you were so fat. And that was the time then when I went up to Dr. Bartley, and I said, "She's getting so fat, she can't walk yet." I said, "Because she's so fat." And I said, "Should I take some of the milk away from her?" He said, "Don't ever take milk away from a kid. You let her drink all she wants to." But my God, you was so fat. And when you walked, you were scared. You know, I told you many times how scared you was to walk over a curb. You got down on all fours and got across the, you know, you had to get down, then you'd bend down, and then you'd go like that. Instead of, most kids just step down, you know. And you wouldn't. You got down on all fours, and you want to make sure you didn't fall.
Well, and didn't I walk really late?
Yeah, oh, you was. God, you was. Well, you got in that baby book, I can't remember. Yeah, you did walk late. Brian, he walked early, but he didn't talk as early as you did.
I was a yacker.
You talked early, yeah, Brian did the same. That's about it.
Okay, tell me that story about when we were up to the getting our pictures taken, and the Sunday school teacher was in line and everything, and I said the photographer was trying to get us to smile.
Oh yeah, and then he was trying to get you to smile, and you were sitting there. There's a lot of people. Yeah, the Sunday school teacher was behind you there, trying to get you to smile. You just sat there so sober, like, you know. And finally, he squeezed a ball, and went, "Er!" And he said, "Whoop, what was that?" And you said, "A fart." That's why you're laughing so on that picture.
And you were embarrassed.
Oh, I was so embarrassed. Who was it? Linda Wiggins, or was it Bernice Ann Jensen behind me, or Lucille Wiggins? I can't remember. One of your teachers, anyway. And they do that. They squeeze these big balls and they squeak and they make all kinds of noise, you know. And he said, "Whoops, what was that?" And you said, "A fart." But just look at that picture. Just look at it. You just tell it. You just. So,
Oh my.
That's about it. I don't know anymore now.
No, tell about, maybe let's tell a little bit about when I fell off the dock.
Oh, he's up in Minnesota. Dad and Pap was out fishing, and Brian he got two fishing poles out of the trunk of the car there, and Brian was going to go out fishing, and my own and I, we was sitting on a dock, just sitting there looking, watching the guys out in the lake. And dumb us, we let you go out the dock and went the furthest out. And so we was sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, I looked over and I said to Brian, "Where's Cherie at?" And he said, "Down there." And he pointed down the lake, and I looked, and we run over there, and there we could just see your little hand coming up and down, and we screamed and hollered. What we should have done was jumped in to get you, but I was so scared of water, my own was too. And then the guy in the cabin behind us, there was some Exara, they had the grocery store down, and he said, what's wrong? And I said, well, my little girl, I said, she fell off the dock out there. And he said, well, that's the feathers, it's deep out there. He said, that's the lake, the dock goes the feathers out. So I felt kind of dumb that I let you go out there, but anyway. Brian comes in, she's down there. And so then he jumped in, and he was getting ready to head back for his R, and he had his white shirt on, all dressed up, and he jumped right in and pulled you right out. Of course, then Dad and Pat, they saw that commotion, then they came in. He had that little green outfit on, little green shorts and checkered shorts and white top, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, then Dad, he come in and he brought you in, and Dad took him in, and took you and laid you on the bed, and dried you off, and put another outfit on, and took you back out to the dock there. And I said, oh, you can't do that. And he said, oh yeah. I said, we have to let her get back to the water. You know, I think you put your bathing suit on, you went swimming, I think is what it was. So we didn't want you to be scared of water. But the only reason I think that you didn't close your mouth, or you did close your mouth when you come up for air, I think is because you said that you had learned in swimming lessons. You'd taken a few swimming lessons. That you had learned enough, had been told to keep your mouth shut when you're underwater. Mm-hmm. And I really think that's what saved you. But oh God, if you'd have drowned, I'd have killed myself.
Oh gosh,
well, because you know I should have jumped in and got you.
Well, you know, you didn't know how deep it was.
I didn't.
So.
Oh God, we probably would both have drowned.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
Hey, anyway.
Tell that story about when that dog ate the
Oh, there wasn't much of that. We was just playing cards. And what is the dog's name? I can't remember.
No, remember he ate the Christmas ball?
Yeah, well, we were playing cards somewhere.
I think we came home from Christmas Eve.
Was it Christmas
from Grandma's.
Eve? Oh, okay.
And wasn't he running all over because
Yeah,
he'd ate a ball because he'd ate a stomach?
Yeah.
Or
and we tried to catch him, and he'd run around the side to the curtains. And remember, we had those big old ugly green and white drapes up, and he was running behind that, and he'd shit on the floor and everything. And then they took him to the, let's see, how was it? We laid him, Dad took him out and put him on that west-east door there, basement door. We had two windows in the kitchen there, and you could stand on a chair and look down, and he took him out there, and he died. He laid there. Then they took him to, somebody, vet took him to Ames or somewhere to be tested for rabies or something like that. But he didn't bite anybody anyway, so I don't know.
Wasn't it because he had eaten that Christmas ball?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was
cutting his stomach,
cutting
maybe?
his stomach or something, yeah, but then if he'd have bit you, you know, you didn't know the way he was acting.
Yeah.
So anyway, he died.
Okay, and how about that time I pinched Brian's neck with the clip?
Well, you were just cutting his hair, and you put a...
I was pretending to cut his hair.
You was pretending he was a barber or beauty operator or something. You've always monkeyed with hair. And then you had him sitting there, and you had a towel around his neck, and you put a clothespin on his neck, and he started streaming like a in there. His little face was so red, and you couldn't get the clip off. You clipped it so tight, you know, to hold the towel around like the barbers do, you know, put the towel around his neck. Oh, golly.
And how about that doll that I kept putting food into?
Well, you just have that big doll, and you get lips and mouth was open, and you kept stuffing food. And then we could smell something stinking. Well, then we decided it was that doll that had all that food in it.
You didn't know I was feeding the doll?
No, we didn't know.
Jeez.
I don't know even how you got the stuff in its mouth, to tell the truth.
Wow.
Whatever happened to that doll? I don't know. That was a big doll. Oh my God, it's news time. 10:05.
It is? Now, okay, then I wanted to ask you if you have any memories of like the farm and stuff. I mean, tell about that time you came home from school and you thought Grandma was dead and she was laying under the...
Yeah, whenever we come home from school, Grandma had a old icebox sitting out in the hall there. The top held the ice, and every so often she had to clean the bottom of it out. So I come in for the back door there, and we always open the door and call, Mom. You know, and that's why I think kids must miss now. These kids' mothers are working. You know, they come home, of course they got TV to look at and stuff. But I always thought that'd been terrible to come home and nobody around. You know, you always. I always come in the door and I said, Mom, and she always says, Yes, I'm in here. Well, she never answered, you know. And so I come open the door, and there she laid, all stretched out, and she had her head under the icebox. And I said, Mom, and of course she couldn't hear me, see. And I started crying, and she took her head. I said, What's the matter? She said, well, I'm just leaving the refrigerator. She said, the icebox, because that little hole got stuck, you know. And then water was running on the floor is what it was. Mm-hmm. And that ice ripped down through that little hole. And of course it ripped down through there. And it was running on the floor, and she was laying down. I don't know if she ever got down there, but she was laying down there on the floor trying to clean all that up. And she got awful excited when I started crying. And she said, Well, what's the matter with you? I said, Oh, what happened to you? Lay on the floor? Oh, cry, honey.
Oh my.
Well, we better have supper.
May 7th, 2005, and I'm up here on a Saturday afternoon. Took off work early to be with Mom on
Cut
Mother's
my hair,
Day.
that's why it looks so terrible, and I got my old t-shirt on.
And so I'm up here because I can't be with Mom tomorrow on the real Mother's Day. So I'm up here and she's making her famous cheeseburgers that no one else can come close to. She makes the best cheeseburgers and potato salad. And we're gonna have some supper, and she's mad at me for taking the pictures of her here, so.
I look so terrible.
No, you don't.
Yes,
What makes you think you look terrible?
I don't take any more. It's enough. Enough's enough.
They knock?
They're not. My freezer is about empty. I better get some stuff put in there, hadn't I? How's your rye bread doing?
Oh, I still have plenty.
Do you? That must not use much of it.
Oh, I do. I kind of go in spurts with it.
Oh, I have these every day. Every morning. My breakfast is not complete until I have had a piece of rye bread with toast with cheese on. But aren't these windows nice?
Yeah, they are nice.
I think, I don't know, they're worth $500.
500 bucks?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I bet you'll save money on your heat bill.
Oh, I'm sure, because I can just tell how tight they are. Don't take any more. I don't want to be on the pictures, all the pictures.
Why not?
Because if I was all dressed up and stuff, it'd be different. But you look at those things and say, oh, yuck. Oh, this is much. Now put that damn thing away right now. Put it away now. Hurry up.
Well, no, you're fine.
He wrote a note to me, and he said I'm putting this note back in the Encyclopedia S, where it was. Tell Betty to go back and look in Encyclopedia S and get that note. And so I did. I told her, I said, there's a letter back there for you. Go back and get it. And anyway, it said that you sit in church every Sunday, and just because you go to church every Sunday, you think you can be the boss of this school. She took that home and gave it to her dad. And he cut out.
You wrote the note?
Mom did. He told me to take it back, and Betty thought I wrote it. See?
Oh, my God.
She took it home and gave it to her dad. And Willis thought I wrote it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, couldn't come to school for 2 days, and oh God. And Dad, he didn't very often get after me, but he did. He's a little sister. I always come little sister. He said, you mustn't do that. He said, your daddy could have got killed down there. He threw me around, and Dad was such a little guy, you know, and he just went around and around and down on the floor. The bottles just flew off. It wasn't very nice, but because I wouldn't have liked if I'd gotten picked on like that. We picked on Betty something terrible down there, but she wore bloomers, and that's why we did. We called her Betty Bloomers, and she didn't think much about that, but we started keeping her. That's why I always say grade school was so much fun. Oh, jeez, I had so much fun down there. Then in the morning, see the Overman boys and Bob Agard and Lyle Huffman. And it was Jeannie Sorensen, Colleen. There were about 4 of us girls with me, and there were 5 boys. And one was John Egan. They lived up there on the highway up here. They had bicycles, and every morning they'd come to get us girls on the bicycle and take us to school. And I was only like 4th, 5th grade, something like that, you know. And we had Christmas time, we had a gift exchange, and I still got some presents the boys give me. But anyway, so one day, that was another time Dad got mad at me. So then one day, we were so dumb about it all. Anyway, I was riding with, I can't remember, Lyle Huffman or Dale or Harold, I can't remember. Jeannie was with Bob anyway, no, Colleen was with, I can't remember. But anyway, we was all with some guys, you know, and they come way up the farm to get me, you know. And we was going to us when I thought was going to school, you know. No, we turned the corner and went up into that bridge west of Hamlin, right there where, well, let's see, Michelle and Robert Nielsen lived there. You know, Lyle Huffman used to live there, you know. Then there's a bridge there before you get to that stretch of Hamlin there. So we drove the bike down underneath there, and then we sat and just talking, you know, on the bridge, you know, because we didn't want to go to school. Dumb us. Then we did come to school the next day. They asked why we weren't in school. We said we were sick. And so then the teachers, well, I was out ringing the bell, and we saw you drive west on your bicycle.